You ready?
Yeah.
You ready? All right.
Ready.
So this is our first BaymonHub. Topic is boundaries. But we want to first tell y'all about us. So my husband's so articulate. He's so awesome. I'm gonna let him tell y'all about who we are.
I'll let you tell us. You're doing so good.
Don't go, babe, for real.
But I mean, I'm a huge introvert. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really. I'm very, very intellectual, but I'm not one that really, lets people into, my world necessarily. So this is kind of an adjustment. And this is a huge adjustment. You know what I'm saying? But no, this is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun, y'all. So he told y'all about him. He didn't say anything about me.
Because I thought so. You can say something about you.
No, you could have talked about both of us.
No, because he was like.
He talked about himself, y'all.
You told me to. I said you were doing good.
No, I said tell them about us. He said, "Yeah, I'm kind of introvert. I don't let nobody in."
We already doing this wrong.
Okay, guys. So, for those of you who do not know, this is my husband, Christopher. My knight in shining armor, for real. And we have 4 children.
Quattro.
We do. We have Chris Jr., we have Kimbella, we have Casey, and we have Brooke, which is our baby girl. And they range from 8, 5, 3, and 1, right?
Yep.
And actually, in a week, Brooke will be 2. Yeah, and we've been married. In February, we will be married 10 years.
Yes.
So, give y'all a little rundown about us. We met 2010?
2010, December
2010.
No, yeah, December
2010.
I want to say 11th, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he want to be specific with the dates. He's kind of good in the area than me. But we met December 2010.
It was a Sunday afternoon.
It was a Sunday. No, it was a Sunday
Yeah,
morning.
it was Sunday morning.
A Sunday morning. Yeah, Sunday morning
after
service because he came with his father down to Memphis. That's where I'm from, Memphis, Tennessee. To play with his dad because his dad always came to my pastor at the time, which is Bishop Craig Baymon. He always came around his anniversary time to come preach, but this time he brought this handsome chocolate maestro that I just so happened to say to one of his cousins who I didn't even know that it was his cousins, like, oh, that guy's cute, and then they went and ran with it. But thank you for running with it, Vernon and Alicia and Tia, because now.
Vernon texted or Vernon messaged me. He DM'd me on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, no," he told me. He was like, "Hey, Chris, Neesie like you," and I was like, "Neesie, which one's Neesie?"
Why y'all gotta talk like this from Memphis?
I don't know, just as a habit. so from there, it was just like, and then you friend requested me. It was like, because he was like, she wanted a friend request you or whatever like that. I was like, all right, you know what I'm saying. So then
he thought I was his cousin, y'all.
I did. That's why I ain't do nothing. I'm like, oh, we're not really cousins. Oh, okay. Oh, had to make sure that was straight. So now that's straight. We gonna proceed. But yeah, so I say I message her, DM her, hey, what's up, and then from there, you know what I mean. It's like we start. We have.
It was real slow, y'all. He didn't call me. He talked to me while he was there for somebody to talk to while he was there for that week.
Listen.
When he got back, I ain't heard from him for like 2 months. He sent me a picture in the middle of the night. 4 a.m. of him shoveling snow. And I just so happened to be up because I'm a night out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I had stuff I had to do, okay?
No.
I was in school. I was like, I had stuff I had to do. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to make a long story short, we really seriously started dating June 2011. July, sorry guys. July 2011. And we were married February 2012.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, very short time.
Yeah.
But, he's my boo-boo. Yeah. But, yeah, this is our little short story about who we are. Quick little background. He was 25. I was 22. And we'll be married 10 years in February. So, y'all pretty much know where our ages are now. And, yeah, I've given him 4 beautiful children. Yeah, he's an elder. Yeah, I'm an evangelist. But this ain't what this podcast is about. We ain't trying to preach to nobody, but we do just want to talk, right, honey? Yeah, real life stuff, realistic stuff. So yeah, that's our little spiel about us. But yeah, we're gonna get into this topic today. boundaries. I'm gonna tell y'all, this topic was like, I think me and my husband was having a conversation in the house one day, and I was like, people just don't know boundaries and da 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 da. And then what even more further confirmed like us moving forward with this topic when it comes to boundaries. I was listening to First Lady Clark. No, oh yeah, I said First Lady Clark. That's not her name. She married. She's a sheer now. Karen Clark Sheard. Yeah, I was listening to First Lady Sheard, and they were doing the convocation. They were doing a live thing, and they started talking about boundaries. And I had already set up for us to talk about boundaries today. And I told my husband, I was like, "Do you hear what they're talking about? That's just even more confirmation." I think Kiara Sheard began to talk about how her mother was so great at boundaries. So, I got to spread a little light, because I don't think that I necessarily would know boundaries if it wasn't for my mom and my co-pastor and my first lady and my pastor as well, because I'm telling you, their boundaries are phenomenal if it wasn't for them. And I think people who master boundaries on every level, it could be beneficial. And if you don't know boundaries, like, you can really ruin some relationships for real.
Definitely. And it would be good for your mental health too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Save you a lot of stress, especially somebody like me. My husband called me controlling all the time, y'all. But when I learned them, you don't call me controlling, babe.
Per se.
But he said, Neesie, you can't be in control of everything. But yeah, so I'm the oldest. Okay, y'all, I'm the oldest.
And I understand that.
He does.
So yeah, I understand that she was always the oldest. How many siblings you got?
I'm the oldest of 22.
Dang! But
I think he was waiting to say that. You just said that.
That's almost 2 tribes. It's almost 2 tribes of Israel.
You're so better for that.
No, but nah, I get that. She is the oldest of like 22, and so for a lot of them, she was playing. She's playing the role of big sis. Sometimes she's playing the role of mom. Yes, that was Casey in the back.
And yeah, y'all gonna learn this trap real good.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we fence her in. Like, she gonna go to sleep in a minute.
Don't say fence her in.
You put the little fence.
Okay. Okay.
So okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. I know what I mean. Because Casey's sleep pattern is horrible. But anyway, I digress. I get that. That she was the oldest. I get all that. I get that, sometimes she had to play the role of big sis. Sometimes she had to play the role of mom. Sometimes she had to do all of that stuff. So of course, naturally, you know what I mean? You're gonna feel the need to, want to control certain things, because that's what you've always had to do. So I always understand that. I never take that personal, like, you know what I mean? But, sometimes a friendly reminder, honey, okay.
No, I'm gonna tell y'all what his friendly reminder is. All right, mom.
I'll say that.
So
right,
he don't be that sweet.
Or
all right, mom.
Or I'll say, honey, you're being controlling again.
Yeah, he does do that. But yeah, so we could just start there. Even with those boundaries, y'all, it was tough. But I really do think that people are placed in your life for a certain period and for a certain time for a reason. Like I said, I learned these boundaries. When it came to that, I had to set up boundaries even when it came to like overstepping, even with my siblings, and overstepping even with my husband with certain situations. Understanding that he's not my sibling, and then understanding that my siblings are my siblings, and we're adults for the ones of us that are adults. That they're adults. They're not children anymore. So I had to set up those boundaries, because I still can find myself trying to be that big sister in their big old grown lives. And I had to learn those boundaries. And I even had to learn boundaries with friendships with certain people. Boundaries with family members. One thing that I think I've always mastered, honestly, I'm not, I just got to give myself a pat on the back when it comes to this. I think I've always mastered keeping that boundary where people feel close, but they're, still reserving a piece of me. Not to say that I don't fully trust, but allowing people to have that open space to be able to talk. I think I've always mastered it, but now I think it just took maturing in that area, which was taught to me through mom and dad, I believe so.
Or you always had that ability, but it was kind of honed.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I think we're still working to master it. But I get what you're saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always had that ability, like that innate ability to be able to do that. But it's like, Now it's just being honed. It's being, But let's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was finna talk about like, oh my gosh, I ever feel like people like you just crossing boundaries. I am so big on people crossing boundaries with certain stuff, like literally.
So let's talk about. Okay, so let's start with like the siblings. Okay, because you were saying that like how like you know what I mean. You were that you had to really sort of remind yourself that all right, they're grown now. Like you can't. So let's start right there. So what are some? So just talk a little bit more about that, and how you had to sort of come to that realization and that conclusion that to be like, all right, I can't be that in their lives, or it's not going to help if I continue to try to be sort of overstep. So just talk a little bit more about that.
Oh, this is good, y'all. Because even with, I think, my youngest sibling on my mom's side, she's an adult now. I really had to create that space to be able to like, speak to her as an adult. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because when you don't, it's kind of okay. So it's kind of like how parents have like children, but then as they grow, they don't talk to them. They still talk to them like they're children, and they don't want to let them go. And you still find, there's still that thing in them. But I had to do that when it came to my siblings, for real though. Like still understand, like they got to be able to feel safe, and then like there's a boundary now. Like they're grown. Like you have to talk about adult things with them now.
So there's kind of certain things that you don't want to phrase certain things this way because you don't want to make them feel like they're a kid.
Right.
You want to sort of give them the space to be like, all right, you an adult. You made this decision. All right, I'm gonna step back. All right, see what you're gonna do.
Do y'all know that I'm still coming to the realization? Like my husband the other day, I was getting ready to go in about something. He was like, "Take your hands off of that." Like, what you doing? Like, let them do what they gonna do. Like, you gotta completely take your hands off of it. What are you causing? You gonna build something up and take on a responsibility that you don't even have to take up. Yeah. And there again, I was like, found myself crossing that boundary because I felt like I needed to do this because of such and such. And he was like,
for 22 years up to when you got married, you had to. So it's like so your mind automatically goes to that mode. Like, you know what I mean? Like that mother mode, that big sister mode, that savior mode almost. Like I have to save this. Like
savior.
You know what I mean? I have to. I gotta come to the rescue. I have to, like, you know what I'm saying, because I don't think they can do it. And it's crazy because you'd be amazed at what people can do when you give them the space to do it. When you give them that opportunity, and then you'd be like, oh, I have to do that in the first place. Or it's like, oh, see, you was able to do it this whole time. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true, babe. Because think about even like with me and you though.
Yeah.
When we talk about like those boundaries where I always use, remember one time we had a conversation and we was talking about where you don't give me the space to do it because I wasn't creating that boundary. Like, Big TV, I'm going to take it downstairs because I asked him and he didn't do it. But no, I had to create that space for him to be able to do it. And it actually took a lot off of me because when I could tell you now, like removing those boundaries, like with him, we could talk about boundaries both ways, either removing the boundaries or adding boundaries. And what I did with him, with my husband, was remove those boundaries of him doing things. And now my husband is more hands-on because I allowed him that space to do it.
Yeah, like, and it's like, sometimes we want things our way, and it's so funny because you call me a perfectionist a lot. But it's so funny because I'm a perfectionist, and I had to work on this too. I'm still working on it, but I had to sort of be cognizant of that for me, with music. But she happens to be a perfectionist with life and situations.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Like, it's fun. It's hilarious.
I'm a perfectionist with cleaning because I be wanting him to clean my way, y'all. Like but that ain't working.
Stuff with driving, I swear. So when we drive together, I sit in the
Don't be telling that business. No, just playing.
I sit, the reason why I like, so this is one area, like, the reason why I sit in the passenger side, because I'm like, you know what? You got it. You do, everywhere we go, it's going to be, honey, you could have took that, honey, and it's just like, what? You do it.
Right. No, today when we got in the car to go, and you walked around to the passenger side, and I was in the passenger side, and you looked and was like, you said creature of habit. He literally, when I'm in the car,
drive together, like, so, you know what I'm saying?
He's like, I'm not dealing with her today.
Or, you know, so it's like, yo, just be like, nah.
I'm not that bad no more. I kind of loosened up.
Well, see, it hasn't happened as much, you know, because I won't allow it to happen as much. You know what I'm saying? But that is one thing where it's like I understand, I get that, like, you know what I mean. And here again, it's like, you know, nobody's ever going to, and I'm just talking about, like, you know what I'm saying, you. Mm-hmm. I know that while you've grown like leaps and bounds, like, yo. I love where we are right now, like, you know, in our relationship, right? But I also know that it's never gonna be a complete thing. It's never gonna be where you're completely just, you know what I'm saying? Like you're completely just, you know, where you don't try to, you know, direct things, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that's you. So it's like, yo, so you have to have the room in the appropriate areas to be able to do that. So I'm just like, you know what?
But he said, I agree with all y'all.
You can drive, whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, I'll let her drive the car, but see, she lets me drive the family. See what I'm saying? She gives me
right. See, y'all got that's right. But that's kind of good though, because I'm thinking about, like, when we were talking about my siblings and growing up with them and being like an adult, we talked about adding boundaries. But when it came to me and you and like our marriage and children and stuff, it was talked about removing the boundaries to give you the space to do it.
Yeah.
So now when we go into friendships, we have to add boundaries.
Yeah.
And also remove them in some areas too.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we can have boundaries up where, like, they need, like, with certain friendships, people have to have like a certain, they got to know that they can trust you. Mm-hmm. But if we have like so many walls up, then it can stop them from trusting us and us being like who we need to be in each other's lives. Yeah. But I also think that there absolutely needs to be boundaries.
And then you got to have that, like, discernment. Like, you got to know, okay, who you can be certain things to. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's good, boo. You know, that's good, y'all. He be preaching to me, I be getting happy.
Oh, stop.
No, we're not preaching, but go ahead, man.
But that's the thing too, is that, you know, you have to know who you can be the certain way too, because I mean, there's people, you know what I'm saying, there's people that, like, you're just not gonna be able to sort of be your full self, because it's like, yo, all right, I know, and I'm saying, like, full self, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, not being fake, because, you know, we ain't fake over here, but at the same time, it's not like, you know, it's, you know, your full self, okay,
right?
You know,
because some people honestly can't handle. They really can't handle all of you, especially, like, you know, we're like the lanes and the paths of lives that we're taking. Yeah. Like, you know, I remember somebody told me that, you know, you got to have friends around you that even at your worst moments, mm-hmm. and even at your worst mistakes, they still see good in you. They still see the God in you enough to pull you out. Yeah. And everybody can't handle all of that with you. Like he said, you got to have that discernment.
Yeah, and you know, and also too,
respect the calling, or respect the calling, or respect who you are in whatever area you're in.
Exactly, because that adds to what I was even saying, because sometimes when you show people all of you now, they get that familiarity, and so they're like, oh, nah, you ain't. So it's like, you know, nah, like, you know what I'm saying, like, nah, it's the same. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying, we can hear, you know what I'm saying, like, and that's not always the case. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying, like, you're, you know, lording over things and stuff like that, but when people look up to you, and, you know what I'm saying, and then there might, you know, and then they you know, you try to show them the, like, you know, all you and stuff like that, they might not look up to you as much as now look at you. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And so to keep that from happening, you know, it's like you want to know who you can be yourself around, you know, mm-hmm. and then you know, talking about friends like that help you grow. I heard this one time, and I really, I really subscribe to this. You need somebody, and this is with people that like that look up to you, or people that like I would look up to. We need somebody that we can ask our dumb questions to.
Yeah, okay. My husband gonna ask y'all some questions.
Listen, I'm serious. Like and here again, this goes into what a not judging thing, right?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, so for instance, if somebody look up to you, it's like if you were to, you ask certain questions, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's say, for instance, about the Bible. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you ask a question and that people will perceive as dumb, it's like, oh, dang, she don't got it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. But if you could confide in somebody, be like, hey, it's like where chapter 1 Genesis at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But so like but here again, but that's why being able to discern and know, okay,
what type of friendship that is,
what this is going to be,
right, and what the boundaries are going to be in that friendship and stuff like. It's important, boy.
It ain't all going to be the same.
Exactly, they're not going to be that. That's a huge thing, and when you're not able to decipher that, you can really mess up a relationship. Yeah, when you're not able to decipher that, because what I am to you is not going to be what I am to the other person. Right. And you got to be able to know that, because you may get all of me, baby. You might get me walking up in the house with, in my walk around the house mode with my wig off, and I'm just being real. But everybody can't take all of that, because that may be the only place that they see you in, you know? Right. The only place. I was like, man, she be walking around the house like that. Everybody can't take that. So there has to be certain boundaries. Like certain people that come over here, you're not finna see me like that. Right. Just real. Like you and certain people, like you're not finna. Me and my husband really don't argue, but I'm just gonna use this as an example. Like, you got that friend, everybody that you want to talk to, like, girl, this man left the toilet seat up again. I'm so sick of him leaving the toilet seat up. Everybody ain't finna get that conversation. Every friendship isn't going to get there, because I don't want you to be looking at my husband like, oh, this the hell to leave the toilet seat up, He leaves the toilet seat. Yeah, like, I do too. Hey, we're the same person. Right. So
which we all are, but you know what I mean.
Right. You know what I mean. Yeah, that's just like a simple form to put it in. Like, everybody can't get that side. Everybody can't get that side of you. Can't get that part of you. You got to understand who and what you are. Yeah. To people.
Yeah, so you gotta be, so it's like, you gotta be, this is so I can do this for you, I can't do this for you. So we have to become all things so that we might save some. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So but like I said, that's
the boundaries and like those friendships is real serious. You gotta understand, like, what's the purpose of people coming into your lives, you know what I'm saying? And like you say, honey, when you're able to discern it, when you're able to know, definitely welcome people with open arms. Yeah. I had a problem with that, y'all, because I had trust issues. So it had to be like, I wasn't even going to allow nobody to get close to me. But then I had to really look at that differently. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And understand what boundaries were. Yeah. And understand, like, it's okay to trust people. And it's okay to set those boundaries and not feel like that you just don't trust people.
But you know what, though? But see, and this is something that, that I learned, like, just through watching. It's like everybody's a certain way for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason why you're the way you are. There's a reason why I'm the way I am.
You like to call me out of the way I am, y'all.
No, it's not, it's not exclusive. It's everybody. Like, everybody is the way they are for some kind of reason or another. So when you have somebody that's closed off, well, they might have been hurt, or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they put their trust in the wrong person. Right. And so now you're extra watchful. Now you're extra, you know what I'm saying? Extra careful. But whatever that reason may be, when we're talking about, like, loving people, and when we're talking about, being able to, just be better. Like, you know what I mean? When we're talking about loving people and everything like that, you have to continue to sort of give it a chance. But of course, there's nothing wrong with watching. Here again, because you gotta watch. You gotta watch. Be observant.
Exactly.
You know, be observant.
Them boundaries, y'all. Them boundaries. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. So, before me and my husband bought our house, we were living with my in-laws, and I was real big on boundaries. And I can admit that I'm a little overprotective, like when it comes to them. And when I felt like that people were crossing their boundaries with them, I would just be like I just don't understand, and different, and just how you feel like a certain way, like, oh my gosh, like this is just, they just like crossing the line, like mommy, like daddy, mommy, like but then I was like, oh my gosh, they've mastered it. They know, like, everyone has to feel like a closeness to them, but then know when the boundary is like, oh no, but I know when to say, when to say what I need to say, and when to tell people like, no, you can't come, without being nasty about the situation. So that's what I mean. And I know when not to pick up the phone. I know when to pick up the phone. I know how far this conversation is going to go on the phone with this person. I know how in depth this conversation is going to go. I know which way this conversation is going to go. I know when to speak, and I know when to shut up. All of this really consists of boundaries, and understanding and defining those boundaries, whether it be in friendships, whether it be in your relationship, whether it's in situationships, whether it's even those relationships like with your siblings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like really understanding like where it's going to go, and really dealing with people on that level. That's what those boundaries are. And then you got to set boundaries to, like, let me tell you something. When me and my husband, we talk about the different boundaries that me and him have, they are to the extreme different. Like, I really understand that, like, women and men see boundaries completely different. What you think, honey?
No, it's true, because we're inherently different. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're going to see things one way, I'm going to see it the other, I kind of, a lot of times, just don't care.
I really don't.
Like, you know what I mean? So you were saying all that stuff with when we was living with mom and dad, and I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was like, where is the boundaries?
Yeah, and
but we just, even with friendships though, men and women are different.
Yeah.
Because I could be laughing about something with one of my close friends, and my husband's like, you told her that? Yeah, you said it? Like,
I mean, we are. Men and women's TMI level is like at a different, like women's TMI level.
I think I'm just over the top,
men's
y'all.
TMI levels like here. that scene on Bad Boys when when it was in the TV store, and so Martin Lawrence's character, he starts telling Will Smith's character Mike Lowry, he starts telling him like some like off the wall stuff, like just like sharing it, like confiding him about stuff.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, she said, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna lock it in the box, and we're gonna throw it in the ocean where you gotta be Jacques Cousteau to get to it. We're gonna never speak of it again. Like, that's how it is sometimes with dudes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wanna know that. Like, that, but no.
That's true though. Whereas to me, I'd be like, girl, and yes, and da da da, and my husband be like, I mean, I don't tell it to everybody, right, but who I consider my close friend, right, like, I will express how it is. But he'd be like, like men don't do. Like, I'm like, but baby, it's okay. Like,
telling them about gynecologist visits, I'm like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Chris is like, I'm not finna go and talk to nobody about me going to.
No, I'm like, yo, nah. This is what we gonna share. Like, you know what I mean? But
baby, I think that, honestly though, I really do think like it's because men are programmed to be that way, and it really shouldn't be that way though.
I mean, so now I do agree with that. I know,
especially as a black man though.
Yeah, y'all hear Casey? She just
yeah, Casey's awake. Welcome, this is Casey.
Yeah, but nah, like. I think that you are. Yeah, I think you are right about that, and I think that's something that is something that I'm getting better with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say that there's maybe 2 people that I like. You know what I'm saying? That I'd like be saying like stuff like that, like, or share stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like I only got 2 people, that I would do that with.
And he'll barely do that, y'all. It's like pulling teeth to get this man to open up. Well. 2 people. Wait a minute. Am I one of those people?
Yes.
Well, no, I
well, I mean, no. Well, you're a given. No, but I mean, it's a given with you, like, because we have that kind of relationship. Listen, It's a given. It's a given. What you listen. All right.
I just pushed out his 4 kids.
Listen, Casey. No, like it's so funny. It's like I heard Sinbad was like, Sinbad. He said, when you get married, he's like, listen. He's like, you don't want you want your wife to be beautiful. You want your wife gonna have to be your nurse. Like your wife gonna have to know the signs of stroke. Your wife gonna have to Nah. So this my nurse. This my like you know what I mean. This is like
You're trying to make me feel good because I want one of them too.
Here again, in my mind, it was a given. I'm talking about like 2 that's not you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like the guys.
Yeah, two dudes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like I said, it is different, and I think that it should. I mean, it should be different. But I mean, I just feel as though a lot of times you don't want to be looked at a certain way as a man. Like, because it's like when you pray, when you're that protector and when you have people that like depend on you and you have people that you're responsible for and everything like that, you want to be able to make sure that, that they're able to, still look at you as, as their protector. And of course, I think that we're in an era now where people are just kind of starting to talk about mental health and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just starting to happen. And you just don't want to feel like, you don't share moments of weakness with too many people as a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, because there is that. Now, should it be different? Of course.
Absolutely.
But it just is what it is. Like, but I'm just like, it should be one way, but this is how it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now, like here again, am I working on it? Yes, of course. But this is my go. This is my, collect $200. Listen, this is my Baltic. This is my go. Baltic Avenue, Mediterranean, like, you know what I'm saying? There's steps.
Hold on, guys. Baby, hit the light.
Yeah.
Okay. Just had to get him to turn on the light.
Yeah. I don't think y'all even know the difference. So I don't know. Y'all don't even know the difference. But yeah, so, but that's how it be, for men anyway. If that's not you, I'm not talking to you, okay? But the ones I know, that's how it usually is. But yeah. See, I don't say much, y'all, when, I don't know. You're looking at me like I gotta say more stuff, and
I'm listening. No,
I'm fresh out.
No, I'm listening to him talk about, like, it just lets you know that men have so many more boundaries than women, I think.
Well, it's the here again, it's the fear of, and I guess I can look at it for me, okay? I can speak for myself. It's that fear of, not wanting to seem weak. Yes, yeah, that sounds ridiculous. Nah. Because for
instance,
pretty
much sounds ridiculous.
People say that, and then you know what I'm saying. Like, for instance, it's like, hey, men shouldn't be afraid to cry. All right.
Y'all, my husband can't cry. Like his tear ducts don't work. Like, can we talk about them, baby? Them just they were held up by boundaries for real.
Hold on. But it's like some people see that, and then when you see, and I'm talking about, like, not crying because, excuse me, like, the Lord to save you, or just like, I'm talking about, like, in life. Like,
no, he can't. Can I tell y'all?
No.
Can I tell them an incident though?
Hold on.
Can I just tell them an incident?
No.
I just gotta tell them.
Hold on. Let me just finish this. What I'm saying is, we might say, oh yeah, it's all right for men to cry. Blah, blah, blah. Let you be in crisis. You know what I'm saying? Let hard times really come. If he start breaking down and crying, are you gonna look at him the same? We say we would, hypothetically, but if it actually happens. You know what I mean? So it's here again. It's a, but, and that, like I said, and that's just me. That's my opinion from my experiences. Now, yours can be totally different, and of course, I'm working on it. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm telling y'all how, how I think, and you know what I'm saying? That's,
Can I tell y'all about these tear ducts though?
Oh my God.
Y'all, let me tell y'all. I was going. I think I had my miscarriage, right?
Yeah, honey, you had your miscarriage.
And I called my husband. I was like, "Do you not even care? Like, I was taking a toll on me mentally and things like that." And I was like, "Cause you haven't, shed a tear. Like, you don't know. I mean, we early about 4 years in.
4.
3.
You're like
3. About 3 years in.
Oh
No,
maybe 1. No,
honey.
Because CJ was born 2013. We were married in 2012.
I know, but the miscarriage
It happened
was
before CJ.
Oh, that was the first one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, y'all, I asked him, if he even cared, was he even there. Y'all, this man stood up there and did this right here. I was like, you ain't even crying. Like, he was trying to squeeze out tears, y'all. It was so funny.
Like
he was trying to make me.
I deeply cared, but it was just like.
He was trying to make me think that he could cry.
It's like, but hold on. But then the first time you ever saw me actually cry, right? Now here, no, hold on. Let me finish. Is because I was pouring my heart out, telling you, I was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, like. I really went. It was our anniversary, right? And I planned to do stuff or whatever. I planned to do some stuff. It was anniversary of Valentine's Day, and I planned to do stuff that you didn't necessarily like, or you was like, "Oh, babe, you could have done it like this. You could have done it like this. You could have done it like this."
Why you telling my business like that?
So I was like, "Yo," I said. So listen, I said, I'm sorry that I didn't do it like that. But I was like, yo, I was telling you how much effort that I really tried to put into it. And I told you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to plan a whole day for us and, and do that. And as I was doing that, like, tears started rolling down my eyes. And so then you was like, yo, she was like, so this the first thing you cry about, Chris? And so, them tears went, you're never going to see us again.
I've grown leaps and bounds, right?
She really has, like,
that's so bad.
But see, and that's why I've always, at the time it had confirmed my suspicions. I'm like,
it's not true.
Oh man, then that's what you cry about, and so that's what. So I felt at the time, oh, this confirms all my suspicions. But
I never said that anything was wrong. I said, oh, so that's y'all know how us women can be. We get real petty when it comes to something like that. Oh, so now you want to cry,
and that pettiness cost you tears.
But it's Casey calling us.
Casey calling, yeah. But yeah, we doing this like in the house as stuff is going on, like, you know what I mean. But like I said though, we definitely have grown, and that's the thing, we've grown, we've worked on that stuff that we work on, like, all the time. That stuff that we are constantly checking and rechecking and reevaluating. You know what I mean? As we go, and I can honestly say that. When we first got married, it ain't nothing like it is now. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, I said, there are a couple instances, right, where the spirit, like, where I, like, if somebody, like, the spirit spoke to me. And I don't ever say that, but it was like one of those times was when I already wanted to marry Neesie. I already planned on marrying her, but she didn't know that. So I was at the gas station. It was Christmas Day because she had came up to visit. And so I was pumping gas, and as I was pumping the gas, putting the pump back. I mean, yo, when I say, like, that fire shut up in my bones, and it was just like, it was gonna burst out of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? That if I didn't tell her that I wanted to, what my intentions were, that I wanted to marry her, then it's gonna be too late, and I need to do it right now. Like, yo, Spirit was telling me I need to do this right now. Not now, but right now. Like, you know what I mean? So I did, and when I did, oh my God, like,
can I just say that?
Go ahead.
I knew that it was God because literally he got out to pump the gas, and when he got out, I was like, oh man, he's so awesome. I'm 1,600 miles away. I can't keep traveling back and forth like this. What I'm going to do is just, like, try to reel back a little bit, because you know how you falling for somebody, but then you really, like, you don't want to uproot your life for a boyfriend girlfriend relationship. And I knew that I was falling in love with this person, and I wanted to be around him. But then again, I told y'all, the trust issues came up, and I'm like, I need to be around him. But then I was like, we just gonna have to be friends. Like I'm gonna have to, when I go back home, we're gonna have to have a talk about like really like reeling this back and being friends, because I want to be with him 24/7. I want to be around him. I want to grow more in love with him, but I can't do that 1,600 miles away. You know, and I wasn't thinking like, I'm not the type of, I'm gonna just be real with y'all. Everybody dream of being married and stuff like that. That wasn't like my top tier thing growing up. It wasn't. It wasn't like, and I was like, what? I was like, no, I didn't sit up here and write out like, oh, I wanted to be married and I wanted to. That wasn't like my number one thing that was wrote out that I wanted.
I did.
Yeah, but there wasn't. But I knew that I was like in love with this dude, and I knew, and I made up in my mind in that car when he walked into this store, I was like, man, he's phenomenal. I was like, but I'm not gonna put myself through this. There you go. That's kind of where I was. And I made up in my mind the conversation that I was going to have with him when I got back to Memphis. So when I made up in my mind the conversation I was going to have with him when I got back to Memphis, he got in the car and said, you do know I plan on marrying you, right?
Yeah.
And then he got out. No, I was making up my mind to say that. And then he said, you do know I plan on marrying you, right? In that moment, then he got out and when he pumped up gas and got back in the car, and I said, you know what you just said? He said, yeah, I know, but let me go talk to my parents first and let me talk to my Uncle Craig. And I was like, but why you tell me you want to marry me and you got to go ask these people? But I'm thinking this in my head, but then as we got further along in the marriage, I understood why. When he said the spirit was strong on him, he had no idea the thoughts that were in my mind. Yeah. So that's how I know absolutely God told him to say that, because I was in that moment where like, I want to be around him 24/7. I want to be with this dude.
And so check it out. And so knowing that the spirit himself was like, yo, this is your wife. And knowing that God himself was like, yo, this is the person for you. Yeah. Even with all of that, it still took work.
Absolutely. That's good though.
A lot of work.
I think when even when stuff is like God ordained, when people say, when you say stuff like, oh, well, this is what God has called you to do, and you do it, you don't expect it to be ease. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just be like, but God must, this is the first thing to come to your mind. But literally, like, it's working. We're still working. It's working.
It's working. It's like, you know, and when people say, oh, you know, a harvest is coming, harvest is the time of year where you're actually now working the hardest, because you got to get all this stuff. You got to get all this stuff.
Come on, baby.
And so it's like, you know. Oh, stop. Okay. But seriously, like, you know, it's like, yo, you gotta go and you gotta get it. It's like, yo, you still gotta put the work in.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, hey, God's gonna, you know what I'm saying? God's gonna do X, Y, Z. You still gotta put the work in. Like, true. You know what I mean? That doesn't, you know, we have to do our part. Because faith without works is dead. And so we have the faith. We still gotta do that work. And a lot of people just sit back and be like, all right, he's just going to do it all for me and it's going to be easy. And it's just like, nah. No. And I think that a lot of people miss that, especially in relationships, especially in marriages. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, God's going to do X, Y, Z. You still going to have awkward conversations sometimes. You still going to have some disagreements sometimes where, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like, it, you know, where it's like, yo, feelings might get hurt, and of course not intentionally, but it's like, because when you are giving yourself to a person, or when you are compromising for a person, whatever relationship, even this even includes friendships. When we're talking about like having a good friendship or any kind of relationship, when you are working on compromising, you're trying to learn this person and everything like that. That stuff is necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause, there are always going to be problems in life. All right. So if we think even as children of God, you know what I'm saying, or whoever you are listening, if you think that you're not going to have problems in this life, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you are delusional. See, we're never not going to have problems. The key is we want to have better problems.
Nigga, preach, babe.
We want better problems.
Preach, boo.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, so a problem is being broke. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's a problem. So then now, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you.
But one thing that we always learn though, even with mom and dad, one of the things that there was a boundary that they set. They talked about what they sat down and talked about. One of the things that they were not going to do was finances and money.
Over money.
They were never going to do that. Rich or poor, there was not going to be. And that was one of the things that we took on in our marriage.
And I'm like, whoo, thank God.
Yeah,
That's really easy. Like, that's honestly one of the
baby, we didn't have
aspects that we never really
right. We didn't had negative accounts. We didn't have accounts where it was 15,000 in there at one point, and
it wasn't. And she ain't looking at me like, all right, now what we gonna do, babe? It was, we gonna do this, and I'm like, all right, we gonna do this. Yeah, and we like get the wheels turning. Like, no, we getting out of this rut. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo,
there was like a good boundary to set. Like, I think when you going into like, you know, we're talking about our marriage right now. When you going into that marriage, we set that boundary. We ain't arguing over money. So money ain't gonna never be a topic where we argue over. I don't care how late a bill is. We ain't arguing over. What we gonna do is come together and find out how we gonna get that money together.
Now, we were working. All right, so we wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like, we weren't people that like sits around and do nothing.
Well, absolutely.
No, but of course, like, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes people got to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are not, you know, it's like, you know, like I'm gonna, you know, do what I gotta do or whatever like that. She definitely gonna do what she got to do. Yo, see, and here again.
Here you go.
This
flattering me.
Yo, she is a bulldog when it comes to certain things, and this be one of them things where I'm like, get it, babe. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't feel no type of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's going to think of ways to either make money, get money. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dang, I wish I thought of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to do that too. Like, you know, but that's definitely one of those things. That, yeah, like, you know, one of them things where I was talking about, like, you know, you're never not going to have problems. Right. You just switch those out. You want to switch those out for better problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd rather have too many workers that you got to turn some away than no workers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I
want to go back to us, like, when me and you, we set that boundary going forward. Mm-hmm. Hey, we ain't arguing over money. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things, you know, in our counseling sessions that we learned about, and it actually turned out to be very beneficial for us. But like, even with friendships, like, I'm going forward now with the friendships that I'm building, where I was on the phone with my friend the other day, and one of the things I told her was, when somebody come to you and say that I said something, like, one thing you're gonna have to know about me, and this is a boundary that I'm setting and an understanding that I'm setting with you, it ain't gonna ever be nothing that I ain't told you. So what my expectation of it is, if somebody came to me and told me that Alexis said, oh yeah, I remember one time Alexis said, this is my best friend, hey best friend, but I remember one time that my best friend Alexis told me, like, you know, you always think you're right. You can be looking outside and the sky is clearly blue, and you would try to explain to me why it's green. And somebody came to me and told me, well, your friend said you think you're right all the time. This why she don't really tell you nothing. And she da. And then my automatic response is not that I'm defensive about it or that I'm upset about that somebody else is coming back to telling me. I know that she once told me this, so I'm gonna be like, yeah, she probably did say that, because at one point in my life I was kind of difficult, like, I was like argumentative, and I always thought that everything was going back and forth, and that's the same type of respect that I expect out of you. Like, you know what I'm saying, ain't nobody gonna be going around running you down to the ground, but if somebody come to you and they tell you, like, you know, when Neesie said that your butt just be such and such, you be like, yeah, Neesie probably did say that because she told me that, but I'm not going to be doing it. I'm just giving that as an example, as this is one of the things that I expect from my friendship, because if somebody came to you, I'm not going to automatically put you into their fault to say that, oh my gosh, she was talking about me to such and such. I'm going to be like, yeah, she probably did say that because she said that to me. Because I'm very vocal, and a lot of times I'm really blunt with a lot of stuff. And if you understand me and how I am, then you know that I'm pretty blunt. If I said something and you come to me and ask me, then I'm pretty like, dang, I did say that.
But you know what, and that's kind of one, and that's another one.
But that's my expectation with my friendships.
But I gotta say, that's one of the things I do love about you, is that you are somebody that can take what they dish out oh my God, like yo, it's like she don't be believing me when I say so. Hold on, so honey, what is the thing I always say that I love the most about you?
Accountability.
You're accountable. Like yo. That is like you know what I'm saying, like and then that's another thing, you know, because when we were and I keep going back to our marriage. I mean, right? But it is what it is, you know. We can only, you know, talk about our experiences, but when we were really working on our communication and things like that. Because that was one of our biggest things, and that's something that we still continue to work on. Like I said, we're in a much better place than we were, you know, say like 10 years ago. But that was one of those things, and the thing that really helped everything was that I always felt like I never felt like I couldn't tell you something, or I never thought that I couldn't tell you, honey, I didn't like the way you did this, or I really wish that you said this a different way, or I don't like the, you know what I'm saying, or I don't like the way, you know what I'm saying. It was never nothing where I could say that I'd say that to you, and you would actually take it into consideration and be like, if I was just like, you know what I'm saying, if I was just tripping, you would, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, there's times that you would tell me that, but a lot of times you'd be like, you know what, you were right. And I'm I was?
Baby, don't play. Yeah, he playing, because honestly, I really take a lot of stuff this dude say. Yeah. And you know, everybody get the nice Chris. Everybody get the like, oh, Chris is just, I get a nice guy. Babe, you remember we was literally both working with autistic children when we were both in the school system. And he had middle school autistic kids and I had preschool autistic kids. So we were working, and we end up working with the same autism specialist. Mm-hmm. And the way that my husband is non-confrontational. My husband is like, when he's very professional. I am too. My husband's very professional. Like he does, and like
run from it though. But
yeah, like he's just like one of them people that people just like, oh, he's such a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Like very, very well spoken, very mannerable. Like they really like grasp it about him. So then, I remember the autism specialist, like we would kind of be like bumping heads, because I would be like, no, this is not what he needs, and such and such and such. And the autism specialist came and she was like, do you know a Mr. Baymon that works at, you know, such and such middle school? And I was like, yeah, that's my husband. She was like, wow. I was like, what? She was like, I just can't believe that's your husband. I was like, what? And I'm talking about, y'all, she came to our school at least once or twice a week. Yeah. Right, honey? Yep. And every single time she was like, oh, I saw your husband today. Like, I'm just in disbelief. Wow. But a lot of people get that, like, you know, that good, he's
mild mannered,
that mild mannered side and everything like that. I get that side where he be like, no, such and such. Do you know when I moved here, y'all, I was like, I just don't have no friends. And I know that my husband said, the Bible says, show yourself friendly. I mean, just like they're still watching whatever he watching. I was like, ouch. Like, you're not even listening to the fact that I don't have friends. But I listened to what he said. And it was like, am I really showing myself friendly? Or am I being apprehensive to everybody? Am I already automatically shutting people out because I didn't grow up with these people or was around them all my life? But I get that blunt side of him, and everybody just be like, I'm married to him. I get that side all the time. But y'all, you know, we were definitely both blunt. Yeah. Absolutely blunt. We're all blunt when it comes to each other. We have to, you know, dial it back a little bit.
We have. You know,
but so, we are very like upfront and tell each other how we feel when we don't appreciate something, when we don't like something, like
or you know what I'm saying. It's like, or like, you know, so yeah, I'm not gonna tell you nothing. Like, I'm not gonna just, you know, beat around the bush, or like if you tell me about something and actually want to know what I think, I'm not just gonna tell you what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? So I can stay on your good side. Like I'm gonna.
That's one of the things that we said too. We was like, no, we're not doing it. Like but I honestly, if I even learn boundaries, like going forward and learning my friendships. If I feel like that you can't take what I tell you, and then that you don't even give it back to me in reverse, because everything I say you're not gonna like. Then I'm like, okay, yeah, no, you just gonna let me do and say what I want to. That ain't no friendship. But I say all of that to say, in regards to my husband, is he blunt, he be saying what he want to say, and I'm mannerable and professional and nice as well. But I think it's like my southern swang and my countryness, where I think people just be like, "Oh, she's just like so mean."
It's like, and she's not. It's like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying?
And people can just automatically look at me and think that I'm just mean.
Yeah.
It's like, then they get around me and they be like, "Dang, I didn't even know you was funny." I'm like, "I'm real funny."
But yeah, like,
right?
But yeah, you are. Oh, you're hilarious.
Shut up. Y'all see that? Yeah, you are. You hilarious.
No, you are. No, she really is, y'all. She really is. And that's the thing. But I have that comfortability. Like, I'm comfortable enough to be able to tell you that. Just like, I know you're getting more comfortable with telling me that. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm the type of person where, if she tell me like the real, like where I was wrong about something, not towards her, but like a situation or whatever like that, I've always been the person like, I need to step back. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me step back, let me digest it, let me process it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll come back to you and be like, you know what, you were right. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's able to do it in that instance where I've always sort of needed to, just give me a few minutes to digest this. Like,
I could turn around and I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, and be ready to talk and move on. And he'd be like, leave me alone.
Hold on.
Leave me alone.
I'm still chewing this.
Like you made me mad. But I'd be like, babe. He'd still be like, what?
Yeah. I'm here again, just this things that
my baby hold grudges.
Yeah, but like I said, I've really gotten. I've really gotten.
He's very self-aware, very very self-aware.
I'm super self-aware.
But yeah, so it's
a gift and a curse. More of a curse of being self-aware. Like, but it's like, yo, gosh.
He beats himself up, perfectionist. But yeah, so that's basically. I wanted to kind of like, we pretty much got like 5 minutes left, where we just wanted to do like a little introduction to us. We wanted to talk about boundaries because I think it's just really good that people know boundaries in every relationship, whether it be removing boundaries with your spouse, whether it be adding boundaries and understanding, being able to discern those different friendships. Yeah. And then setting up boundaries, even when it comes to ministry, y'all. I'm just being honest. Like I told y'all, I was listening to First Lady Sheard talk about mastering setting up those boundaries. You really have to set those boundaries up, even when it comes to that. Like,
what's so funny? People always be like, "Yo, Chris, you ain't how you used to be," because you used to be like you used to go ham on everybody, like musicians, singers, and choirs and stuff like that. And it's just like, yo, like you see, like you changed. It's like you got real soft, or like what I'm saying, like, or super nice. And it's just like, it's not that. But as time went on, you start to understand what you have to do to get the best out of people. Some people can't take that. Some people can. So it's like, for you, I'm just gonna tell you, yo, you're horrible. Like, or you sound horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? You need to get it together. But for you, I can't say that. I kind of have to build you up. You know what I'm saying? And so understanding that, you know what I mean? Understanding that, it's like, yo, you sort of, you become sort of more, here again, self-aware, right? And you sort of, you get better results. And it really teaches you patience. And see, we're talking about this whole boundary thing because this is just something that that we hope through this conversation that we're having, that y'all can really help start to really improve your relationships and knowing and improve, here again, your mentals, right? And knowing, what you need to do, what not to do, because that's
when there's no boundaries, it's more strain on you mentally, and more strain on you like physically when you don't set boundaries. Yeah. When you don't set those boundaries to just relax. Yeah. Hey, I'm not answering this right now, or I'm not like always thinking that you have to be at everything at the ever moment. What they call it, FOMO, fear of missing out. Right. So you have to really, really, really set those boundaries for mentally, physically, for your families, for your relationships. Those boundaries are very, very much needed in every area. Every area of your life.
And the more that you do it, like the more you really see your relationships improve. Whether that be husband, wife, whether that be friendships, whether that be acquaintances,
sister, brother, cousins,
family, you know what I mean? Like every aspect, because, relationship is really just your quality of being with another person, whoever that may be. You know what I'm saying? And so we just hope that this helps improve your quality of being with another person, be that friend, family, spouse, whatever.
Yes. So thank you. Our first BaymonHub podcast featuring Casey Rain Baymon in the background. High five, baby. So yeah, y'all set those boundaries this week. We want to hear how it is. We want to hear if this conversation was helpful to you. Fast forward, send it to somebody, share the links below. Y'all, we ready. All right.
Share, comment.
Yeah, share, comment.
Like,
talk about, tell us what y'all want to hear about. The different topics y'all want to hear about.
Yeah, let us know.
But you are going to be in for a treat for our next topic, and we will be releasing that in the coming weeks on what the next topic would be.
Because we don't know right now.
He's so stupid. But yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and yeah. All right, guys. Bye.
All right, see you later.